Welcome back to the channel. So we're out on the big garage build, and today Ed and I are going to start getting the OSB round. What we're going to do is I'm going to put it all up, bring it round to Ed, and Ed's going to literally be fixing it all in. So between us, I'll be cutting, keeping in front of Ed, and then when I've done enough cutting, I can catch up with Ed and we can start nailing it in. I'm also going to use galvanised nails, of course, really important. Ring shank nails, galvanised. This is 18mm. Quite often you see 9mm OSB sheathing in timber frame houses, and I'm going to actually clad it just like timber frame panels. So it's very straightforward. We're going to get the OSB up today. Once the OSB is round, then we've got the Batsafe membrane, something we'll come on to a little bit later in this video. And then what we'll probably do is think about lining the insides of the walls with some temporary plastic as well. So at least most of the rain can stay off of the timbers. The timber will take a bit of rain, but excessive rain, it's just going to add a little bit of swelling to it, okay? And it will shrink back, but I'd like to avoid that if possible. So let's get on with it. Let's get going. The first job is I'm going to run round and I'm going to make a big cutting list, and then I'm just going to literally cut everything up. So what I've done differently on this job is I've put my studs in at 16-inch centres, which is slightly more than 400, okay? And the reason is because we've got imperial boards, so we've got 4-foot boards, and on the inside, it's also going to get ply lined. All we're doing is cutting the heights off, and then we can use all of those offcuts as well. We've got about 30 sheets to get through. Now, we've got a gable on here with a barn end. Once the scaffold's up, we'll start building those gables. So for now, I'm going to take the OSB from just off the damp course here, keep it up about 3 or 4mm to the centre of this head plate here, all the way over. Then when we put our studs on above here, we'll be able to bring the OSB right down onto that head plate, and it will be super secure and super solid, all right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to come to there. On the back walls, we're taking our OSB right to the top of the studs, because the bird's mouths go over the top of the stud and the OSB, to save trying to cut your OSB around your roof once it's pitched. I don't like that. I think it's not very nice. It's not good for air tightness and that sort of stuff. So that's my first job. And I've worked it that we get exactly 3/4 of a board onto the middle of there. You see 6 foot? Again, we're talking imperial now. So that's 3/4 of a board. That gives me my gap underneath to make sure that we're just off of that damp course, all right? Which is brilliant, because for every full board I cut, I get another cut, which can go here, and then it's half a sheet. I use the next half a sheet there, and then I repeat the process. And so I only need 3 boards to get most of this from here all the way through down to the stud on the other end, and then we've just got these panels to add in at the end. So that's it. I'm going to crack on, measure, mark, cut and fix. 4 at 6 feet. All yours, mate. One thing I always do is work from the pack, so I can work all the way down to about there, save moving it. It's just saves a lot of time. We're using 18mm, lovely material. It's nice and solid, gives it some amazing rigidity. OSB free. It can take a little bit of rain, but we're going to get it covered up pretty quick today. Okay, mate, I'll get the other 4-foot sheets done now.
Yep.
And then I'll come and help you set that one up, get you started, and then...
OSB is an amazing material. It's fantastic for sheathing, and at the time of filming this video, the prices had come down to pre-COVID levels. Links in the description.
keep it off the ground. It's not going to be there long, but everything's very wet. Right, that's plenty of boards to get us started now after this one. The Ed's just making up a couple of blocks to make sure that we get all the OSB at the right height at the top.
Yeah, it's just set the margin down 70mm from the top so we know we're going every time.
Great, well let's go and get set up then. Got the nail gun ready. We're going to start on this side over here, work all through the side over here, come around the back, get this building done and move on. Just stick one on for now. We'll keep the board edges up, cuts to the bottom.
Do you want the writing indoors or outdoors?
Yeah, we'll put the writing indoors.
Yep.
And the other thing we'll do is we'll mark up our studs. We're going to check this first board that is plumb. That is good. And then we're going to start in the middle of the sheet as per normal. Just check the top looks flush.
Yep.
We'll go for that.
That's beautiful, mate.
Now we've got that on, we can remove our brace. Yeah, it's nice being tall, isn't it? You can reach 8 feet.
Has its uses.
Good. Perfect. Start reclaiming some material now.
Precious Batten.
Screws especially.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
My packets are a bit off on here. There we go.
Perfect, Ed. I'll get my marks done for us.
Cool.
That's good.
Cool.
Good sheathing. Get a mark on it. This is a nice easy job, isn't it? So that is the basis of our fixing schedule now. That's what we're going to do all the way around.
Yep.
So we'll crack on and I'll start cutting the backside here and we'll get around. And then what we'll do is we'll fill all these corners in once we've done the main bulky bits, because then we'll have bits offcuts to play with and that sort of stuff.
No, we've got them, haven't we?
Yeah, all right. So we've got the bulk of this one done, and because the weather's a bit iffy, I think we might want to get the Batsafe membrane on this now.
Yep.
First job, I'm going to trim this back, this first DPC back to the Aris. I've set ourselves up down here. I'm using the Batten, and the blade is quite, I can sit the knife on top of here and literally just sort of slide them back like this. Just a matter of holding it, working it along. And that gives us a neat finish. Shouldn't see any of this damp obviously once the cladding's on. It's a really nice, neat job. So we'll go round, we'll get it all trimmed back like that. Then we're running with another small DPC, and the reason I want to do that is I want to fold that down, just put enough fold in it so it's there as well. And then when we put our Batsafe on, the Batsafe stops here, and basically then it will just be much more weathered. We don't want too much water going back underneath that. All right, so that's how we're going to go. Here's the governor.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going brilliant, mate. Yeah.
Yes.
It's going great. It's brilliant. Yeah, we just hopefully the weather stays on our side, but we're going to sort of cover this in Batsafe as we go.
Good. Yeah.
So we're just trimming the first DPC back.
Cool.
Then we got another one which goes on just over it like that.
Let's give it a lip.
Just, yeah, it's more for weather protection now than anything else, but it'll remain. We don't want to see it once the cladding's in. The cladding will sort of be there.
Sure.
We don't want to see it, obviously.
Yeah, good,
so
good detail.
yeah,
Very
it's
nice
just
detail.
something which is going to be, and the Batsafe over that.
Very important, and people forget it.
Yeah, But yeah, we're doing all right, Jack. We're cracking on.
Lovely.
We're enjoying
Yeah.
ourselves.
Good.
And I love doing a bit of OSBing because it's just one of those, you can cover a lot of ground.
You
know what I
can.
mean?
Yeah, it looks like you're getting somewhere as well.
Yeah, and it's stiffening everything right up, which is what we
It
want.
does. It does.
Oh well,
Okay,
mate. Well, we'll
I'll get back
crack
to my
on.
coffee.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah. See you in a bit, mate.
Take
See you
care.
in a bit.
So once we got that DPC round, we got the first lot of the Batsafe round. This is the first time I've actually picked this product up, so I always like trying new products. We use lots of different membranes in the construction industry, and this particular one, as I say, it's so nice to find something new that actually serves a purpose and is breathable. Then after some more cutting, I'd moved myself indoors at this stage because we kept getting rain. So it was a matter of just carrying on. So you can see that we're on the second of the two garages here, and we're just going around methodically. Ed is doing the fixing, I'm doing the cutting. Every now and then I jump on as well, get my nail gun out if I'm that far in front. But working as a team is really key in construction. The productivity goes up no end. Sometimes it's best to do all of the same things at once. For example, as much cutting as possible, as much fixing as possible, even clearing up. You know, sometimes it's better to just clear up at the end of the day.
Got a visitor, Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my oldest mates started as an apprentice with me. He's just rocked up. This is Carl. Look. Come here. Turn around.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
don't want to be on film.
This is Carl. Anyway, mate, we'll have a break here.
After a nice cup of coffee with one of my oldest friends and a fabulous carpenter, it was about time to crack on and get everything finished for the day. It works really well as a team. Now Ed's super happy going around doing all the fixing. He's so tall, it's much more convenient for him. He can stand on that very short hop up and catch the top of the wall. And I'm happy to be on the stalls with the saw, measuring, marking, running the stuff around and cutting. It's just great teamwork.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about the Batsafe membrane and why we're using it, of course. So first of all, what is Batsafe membrane? Well, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's safe for bats. Now, we have over 18 species of bats in the UK, and they're protected. They're a protected species, and that means that when you put in a planning application, if you're in an area where bats are known to be, which is pretty much anywhere in the country, I believe, I'm led to believe, then you need to make sure that you, if there is evidence of bats, you need to make sure that you take care in preserving their habitats. Or in this particular area, part of the planning condition was to have an ecology report, and that included things like the bats. And bats were, so they come out and they basically watch at certain times of the year, and then they evaluate how many sort of species are around and where they're roosting. And so with this new garage block that we're building, it was established that there are a lot of bats around here, and we need to make sure that we can provide them with a suitable environment should they get into the fabric of the building, okay? And they're devious little creatures, they'll get in anywhere. So technically, we shouldn't allow anything to get behind the cladding or into the roof, but oak cladding moves, it's only got to move a little bit, enough for a bat to make a roost, and it will get behind. Now, with all construction, once you've put your sheathing up, then we need to put some sort of breather membrane over the top. Now, a normal breather membrane will, when the bats get into it, they can get sort of tangled up in it because it's just not man enough for the little claws. And so this is a bit of a layman's terms. There's going to be a link in the description to TLX. TLX Insulation is the company who've gone to a lot of trouble to make this. This is what it looks like. Okay, you can see that it's got like a really fine weave, like a mesh over the top. You don't need to overfix it. It's fairly straightforward. It's really tough material as well. So it's good. It does a lot of things. Okay, it will be a temporary weather protection, but there's a certain amount of time that this wants to be exposed to UV. It's around about 168 hours, and that's not dissimilar to a lot of other membranes on the market. Always check that when you're putting a membrane on. If you're going to strip a roof, cover it in membrane, get it in the dry, as we say, then you've got to make sure that if the sunlight's on it for a long period of time, it's not going to degrade, okay? So I've worked out here, we've got around about 3 weeks because it's short days at the moment. It's been very dull and grey. So we've got a fair amount of time before we need to get our cladding on. So this is what it looks like. We've got it all round here now. The next lot we'll put on is when I put the gables in. So we'll get the trusses on this roof and we'll put the gables in, and then we'll put the Batsafe on those gables as well. So yeah, so make sure you look out for this, okay? If you're a building contractor or if you're a homeowner and you've had to go down this route of sort of a report, it's part of your planning condition, you've got to use it. So as I said, there'll be a link in the description. Go and check it out.
So we've got quite a lot of the Batsafe membrane on. So I've got these 2 sections of studwork behind me, which I'm going to put some windows in. When I get back here, that'll be my next job, making up the openings, putting the OSB on, and then obviously Batsafing them around and forming the heads above the doorways as well. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Every time we add something, it gives it a bit more protection. I'm going to put some DPC around the top, just tack that down as well. That'll stop any sort of rain running behind it and going into the edge of that OSB. OSB and timber will take the rain, but you know, if it's constantly getting deluged and it's not drying out, then it's not fantastic. And as I say, I'm going to line the inside. So the Batsafe, yeah, it's quite straightforward to use. It's quite a tough material. We'll be putting a counter batten on, a 25mm counter batten on, right through into the studs behind for the cladding, and that will obviously hold it all back. So we're looking good. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you all again soon.